I'm Judy Crown. I'm a proud member of Local 706. I've been a member since 1978. I have these sunglasses on because I had eye surgery yesterday. Otherwise, I would just be myself. I decided after working in a salon for a long time that I was eventually going to be an old hairdresser, and I would have to be all on my own with no benefits, no retirement. And so I figured that doing hair for the film business was the way to go. Our local really protects us and takes care of us, and we get benefits, and we get benefits when we retire, and it actually worked out that way, and I would recommend it to anyone who wants to have a career in doing hair. I was doing some little silly government films. A camera operator invited me to go to a commercial with him one day and see how they worked in film. And I went to the commercial, and Del Acevedo was there. He was the makeup artist. He called me and said, "Our hairdresser can't come back tomorrow, so would you like to come and do this commercial?" So I said, okay. So I went the next day and I did the commercial. After that, I went to Universal, and I worked there for one day. I worked on Quincy, and the two old makeup artists that were there, they told me that I would never make any money working in the film business. So I said, why do I want to work 12 hours a day and not make any money? So I left the show. After that, I was traveling with John Denver. I was his hairdresser on tour, and John asked me to do his hair on Oh God. I met the director of photography, and he yelled at me because I didn't go back to Universal and tell them that I wanted to work. And so he hounded me until I called up the Universal makeup department and said, I really changed my mind. I really want to do film work. And they started hiring me. And I've worked ever since. I showed up one day and they said, you're going to do this show called The Jordan Chance with Raymond Burr. And I go, okay. So I became the department head for that show. Raymond Burr was just the most wonderful, sweet man. And I was, absolutely obsessed with doing a good job. And so he laughed at me all the time because of that. And I enjoyed him so much. And Stella Stevens was on that show. They were all really wonderful to me. And that was my first show, which made me know that I wanted to continue on and be in this business. Some of my favorite shows were Designing Women, and probably my very favorite television show was Murphy Brown. I did that show for 10 years. They're just doing Murphy Brown again now, and we went to the Murphy Brown reunion party and watched the new show, and it was really great to see the old crew again. Another really wonderful experience I had was Seinfeld. Jason Alexander has been my very favorite human being in the film business ever, and we're still friends. I had very strong bonds with several actors and actresses. Jason Alexander was one of my favorites. I loved Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Candice Bergen was an amazing person. I worked with Lauren Bacall many, many years. She was very kind to me and the makeup artist. She could be really a hellion with producers and directors, and she was fascinating because she told us stories. In creating a character, first you have to read the script, and you have to read it a few times so you can really get the feeling of what the whole show is about. I would have conversations with the costume designer, the actor, the director, and get input from everybody about their vision. Because my job is to create their vision. Sometimes you have to forcefully make your point if you have a really good reason for your idea about that character. Gods and Monsters was kind of a good example of that. Brendan Fraser had to have his hair cut. It was supposed to be in a 50s look, but he really needed his hair to be a little bit longer than a 50s look. And I felt that was really important. And so I was able to get that point across. We had to do a scene where it started to pour down rain. So I went to the director and I said, why don't you do the close-ups first and then do the master? He thought that was a great idea. So that was one of my memorable moments in Gods and Monsters. What I look for is a person who shows up early, who takes the initiative to do what it is I ask, and I need them to just be sensitive to what the actors need, to be very conscious of time. I don't like the AD standing outside the trailer saying, when's it going to be done, when's it going to be done? I don't like to keep anybody waiting, and I like it when a hairdresser is fast and figures it out quickly. When I first thought about getting into the business, I thought all the hairdressers in the film business were old. And that was the place I needed to go to be an old hairdresser. And I wanted to have a long career, get to the end of it, be able to retire with security. And that's exactly what I did. It enabled me to have a comfortable retirement, a really good time very often when I was working. I'm really glad I did it, and I'm now glad that it's over.